you. Some huge election promises have been made by Labor leader Bill Shorten for Sydney and many of its workers. Across the city's west, there's a $6 billion rail commitment. And on the day penalty rates were slashed, a vow to restore them.
Bill Shorten.
For a man from Melbourne, Bill Shorten's supporters gave him a Sydney reception that he clearly needed. After a tough week, which included a tax backflip, Mr Shorten came out swinging.
We've chose to put the people of Australia first, not the top end of town. That's how we do it.
The opposition leader sat down with 9 News to spell out why Western Sydney is his target.
Doesn't have the public transport commensurate with the contribution that people in Western Sydney are making to Australia.
So, if elected, Mr Shorten will hand over $3 billion in federal money for a fast underground metro train from the CBD to Parramatta, with stations in Pyrmont, Rozelle, Canada Bay, Olympic Park and Westmead. Labor claims they can build it quicker, even though the Premier already has drills in the ground.
Federal Labor says a lot, but when they actually get in, they don't do anything. And I experienced this firsthand when I was a State's Transport Minister.
Premier Berejiklian has to barrack for the Liberal team, but she needs to take off the Liberal hat and put on the Sydney hat.
Bill Shorten is also committed to extending the planned north-south rail line from St Mary's to Macarthur through Badgerys Creek to connect with the North West Metro at Rouse Hill, and a link from Leppington via Bringelly, which also connects with the new airport. An attempt to outbuild a state government that's never built so much.
The Liberals are doing it in New South Wales.
Well, the difference between me and Malcolm Turnbull is I can pay for new rail infrastructure in Sydney because I'm not giving $17 billion away to the big banks.
On the same day millions of Australians saw their penalty rates cut, politicians got a 2% pay rise. Mr Shorten himself pocketing close to $8,000. Still, in a room full of unions, there was a big promise.
In the first 100 days of a Labor government, a new Labor government, we will reverse these cuts to penalty rates.
We know what his record is. When he was the head of the unions, he traded away penalty rates for no compensation.
Even in an election-winning position, there's a nagging problem. Malcolm Turnbull is streets ahead as preferred Prime Minister.
Why do you think people don't like you?
Well, I don't think that. I think that people do like our policies. The people I meet do like us. So I'm not distracted by that.
Our state politics reporter Chris O'Keefe